Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Ringside Rundown podcast. My name is Eric Vasquez, and joining me on the line is my podcasting partner in crime. Yes, that rhymes. She's coming straight from the Berg. She's none other than Shay Hickson. Shay, what's going on, my friend?
Yeah, what is up? Honestly, not much. Just, hanging out. It's
Just
Tuesday. It's regular
it's
Tuesday.
Tuesday, isn't it?
Yeah, right? It's Tuesday. Yeah. Yeah, it's a regular Tuesday. I can't really complain. However, we talked about this a little earlier. There was one thing we had to get out of the way to start the show off, and you are not happy, to say the
I
least.
I wouldn't say not happy. I would say more overall like disappointed how
You're
uh
not you're not mad, you're disappointed.
Yeah, I'm yeah, which is even worse.
God.
I'm more disappointed at how anticlimactic the Super Bowl was
Oh yes.
this past weekend. It was just like it felt like it didn't even feel like a bad game. It just felt like a regular season game. It didn't
Yeah.
really have that competitive spirit behind it like some Super Bowls have had. I'm honestly the best part for me was like the halftime show. I enjoyed the
Yeah.
halftime show. Like
Yeah.
other than that, the game was kind of a stinker.
I feel like if you look at the final score, it looks a lot closer than it actually was.
Right.
It was like not that close. They
It
just tried
wasn't.
to make it close at the end and it was far too late. Yeah, the halftime show was pretty decent. It was one of those where it's like if you got it, you got it, and if you didn't get it,
Yeah,
then clearly it wasn't
exactly.
meant for you. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it. I that's honestly, I haven't heard somebody surmise it as best as you did. If you got it, you got it. If it was for you, then you enjoyed it. It was for me. I'm a huge Kendrick fan. I think he's
Yeah.
super talented. So I was definitely enjoying the halftime show, and I was definitely enjoying the discourse, I guess you could say,
Oh,
around the halftime show because again, people just
yes.
didn't get it. It went way over their heads, like way
Yeah.
over their heads. And it was just like it was one of those you could see a clear cultural and generational divide in
Mhm.
America with this halftime show. Either you liked it or you hated. I don't think there was an in between.
I really don't think so. That's literally the whole thing I saw was either, oh, that was the greatest halftime show I've ever seen, or it was the worst I've ever seen. I don't think there was really anything in between, but
I don't know.
again,
I don't know. I'm pretty old. I celebrated a birthday this past Thursday, so
yeah.
I'm pretty old. I got to see the Michael Jackson halftime show. I
Mm.
still remember that as a kid. I remember Michael Jackson flying through the air to begin the performance and just standing there for 5 minutes and people just losing their mind. I have never seen anything like that to this day. I mean, the Prince performance, the legendary Janet Jackson.
Oh,
Just
yes. Yeah.
I've seen them all. I've seen all the big halftime shows. This one was pretty good. I wouldn't say it was the greatest overall, but it was.
No.
As a Kendrick fan, I thought it was pretty good. But surprisingly, ladies and gentlemen, we're not here to talk about sports or the Super Bowl. We're actually a pro wrestling podcast. Who would have thunk it, huh?
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Not
We are
me.
Yeah, right. We are a pro wrestling podcast. Shay and I have been doing this podcast. For those of you that are new here, we've been doing this podcast since June of 2021, where we answer your questions about what's going on in the world of professional wrestling. A lot is going on, a lot of
Yes.
like backstage news, rumor mill stuff is going on.
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans. So let me like preface this by saying that anything we talk about, especially with the topics that we have to cover today, from our end is purely speculatory. It's not
Yeah.
factual. I don't have any sources in WWE or AEW. I don't think you have any sources
No.
in WWE
No.
or AEW. We are just fans. That's one thing we try to do on this show as wrestling fans is we try to convey our analysis simply from the perspective as a wrestling fan. We don't try to act like experts. We don't try to act like we have sources in the backstage area feeding us all this information about what's going to happen. Everything we talk about is purely what we think, our interpretation, our opinion, and we try to do the best way. I feel like, because especially today we have to cover some sensitive topics. I feel like we do the best where we don't try to disrespect anybody in the industry coming from our perspective as fans.
No, because there's enough of that going around that
Exactly.
we don't want to be just another podcast that just screams at
Yeah.
everybody. So,
Yeah. You're never gonna hear about us saying we're experts and whoa, we've been doing this for so long. We know more than people know. We're
no.
just wrestling fans like everybody else with a microphone and internet access. But the way we do it here is we answer your questions about professional wrestling, and we got a lot of questions this week about what's going on in the worlds of AEW and WWE. So why don't we get right into it?
Yeah, let's jump right into it. And I always have the fun option of picking who goes first and who goes last.
Right?
Yeah, we'll start with mom's stuff.
All
All
right.
right. So she starts off with Harley Cameron is, as we obviously already know, off the chart funny. It's too bad she's not going to win in Grand Slam
Mm.
Australia. Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, it would be hilarious if she
I mean,
pulls off the upset of the century,
right?
but is she going to? Probably not, but that still doesn't mean she's not hilarious. The halftime show was just fucking funny.
Yeah.
And the puppet and the baby holder thing. It's just like it's just every time she's on the screen you can't help but laugh.
I knew. I knew, and it wasn't during when she was associated with QT Marshall and doing the
Yeah.
QTV stuff. I think it was when they finally put her in the ring. And
Yeah.
I think what it was for me was they put her in the ring, and from her first match, you look at Harley Cameron and you go, she shouldn't be as good as she is for someone that just wrestled their first match.
Yeah,
And I was
we
like,
talked about it back then where it's just like she's good, like
yeah,
good.
yeah. I think there's even a segment we had where we clipped a piece of the podcast for YouTube talking about how good Harley Cameron is after that debut. And she is just naturally charismatic. She
Yes.
is naturally gifted as a comedian. She's naturally gifted as an entertainer. I mean, this girl she can do improv. She's a ventriloquist. She can do comedy. She can sing. She can play the guitar. She makes her own entrance music. Like, this girl is
Yeah.
multifaceted in what she can bring you in terms of entertainment. She really is someone that I kind of wish AEW kind of stretched this out even
Yeah.
more so, not necessarily with Mercedes, but start stretching out the fact that Harley is picking up wins that maybe she shouldn't have been picking up,
Yeah.
maybe ones that would have been losses in the past. Harley Cameron, with the experience that she is gaining, is starting to turn it around and become a big asset for the women's division in AEW. The
Yeah.
question being whether she can win at Grand Slam Australia. Tony Khan really sometimes can't help himself when it comes to these
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. I feel like the
Home country girl, everybody's
yeah.
behind her. She's starting to put it together. If she wins, it'll definitely be the shocker of the year. But again, she's in her home country.
But
She's
then what
probably gonna
happens
have.
after?
But the thing is, as entertaining as Harley Cameron is, what happens after, you can make it work. I
Yeah.
honestly think you can make it work with what happens after, because she's just, god damn, she's very entertaining. Like, it
And it's
almost makes,
effortless.
yeah, it's so natural and it's so genuine when she did her and Renee are
Oh,
fantastic together.
yes.
Her and with Renee trying to be like the one to keep her together and to keep her in
Yeah.
line during these interviews, like when she pulled off the puppet and she had the middle finger up and she
Mhm.
was going to give Mercedes the finger and Renee had to stop her from doing. I need Harley Cameron in some sort of like buddy cop movie or something where like AEW can really harness her talent. Like, give me a Harley Cameron reality show on YouTube of just like a day in the life of Harley Cameron on YouTube or something. I would
Yeah.
watch that every single week because that woman is entertaining to no end.
Yeah, I completely agree. It doesn't matter what she does. It's always going to be hilarious. It's always going to be, again, like you said, effortless. She doesn't even
Definitely.
try. It's just to have that kind of charisma and that like humor and just talent and all just have it so just again effortless. It's pretty fun to watch. It's very entertaining. I'm sure they'll have a great match at Grand Slam, but
Yeah.
who knows with Tony? At this rate, it's like sometimes we've seen we could just throw logic out the window. So
he did it with Saraya at All In. Remember that one? He
yeah,
did like there
yeah,
was no reason for Saraya to win the
no.
AEW Women's World Championship, but Tony couldn't help himself. Had to do it in front of the London crowd, and
And how
it
did that
was.
work?
I mean, that was the question, like you said, what happens after? That was a sufferer of what
Yes.
happens after. I don't think that would happen with Harley, because I mean, you could instantly go from like Mercedes losing to Harley and then like slide in Deonna Purrazzo, and Deonna
Yeah.
Purrazzo does the whole thing where she's like, you're not even supposed to be here, you're not even supposed to be in this position, you're a
Yeah.
fluke champion, you're a paper champion. Boom, she beats Deonna, and then you move up to like a Queen Aminata. You want to mix it up with someone different, someone new, and then you just keep bouncing it off of that. And but I felt like, as happy as I am to see Harley Cameron in this position, because I think she deserves to be in this position,
Hmm.
I would have loved it if like she started racking up some wins, and then racking up wins against people that, you know, we would assume, oh, she's definitely going to lose this match because she's
Yeah.
been losing, but and then give her the title shot, so that way she could be like the Sami Zayn of AEW, where it's like
Yep. The
fighting from
underdog.
underneath. Yeah, the underdog, the real fighting spirit, the guy or the person that just doesn't quit or doesn't give up. I'd love to see Harley Cameron break that out during the match, where she just kind of like Mercedes starts to dog walk her, and she just like fires up and doesn't quit and fight back. I would love to see that.
I would love to too. I'm sure we're going to. It's just sad because we say this time and time again, and especially with the I feel like this show is just cursed. Grand Slam's just cursed at this point that I feel
What
like
time is this show happening?
whenever the All-Star whatever's over, so that could be 10 o'clock, that could be 11 o'clock, it could be midnight for all we know.
And
I don't know.
this is a silly. I don't know where the All Star break is,
No,
because
I don't know.
where depending on where it is geographically in the states, if it's on the West Coast,
Let me
you
take a look
know,
here. Live
if it's on
reporting on the scene.
yeah, if it's on the West Coast,
Mm,
you know,
San
let
Francisco. Fuck.
oh my fuck.
Fuck. Oh, this
All
is
right. So this is
shit.
it's not the All-Star game. It's more so the All-Star festivities, like the
Yeah.
slam dunk contest, three-point contest. So in that aspect, it's okay. However, 8 o'clock on their end, San Francisco time, is 11 o'clock on the East Coast, my end. You know,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
mine
like
too.
again, I just celebrated a birthday. I'm old. Once I lay down,
You're
you
done.
got like you got like a 15-20 minute window before everything just starts to Windows
Um,
XP slowly shut
Shut
down.
down.
Yeah, it's just like,
Um,
so 11:30 at night,
oh,
I'm thinking about laying up in bed. I don't know. And usually, like, I wouldn't even be streaming that late. Usually
yeah.
I would stream, Collision,
Mm,
but Collision runs till 10 o'clock. If you're talking
yeah.
11:30 and it might not even be starting,
Well, you're gonna hate what I'm about to tell you then,
uh-oh.
because it is the keep this in mind, first event of the All-Star Skills Challenge starts at 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, yeah, nobody's watching Grand Slam. Not in the
No,
States.
no, because I don't even know what's like on the like. I don't even know what the challenges are. Like,
Skill, it's mostly you got to figure in dribbling. They're gonna do dribble drills, 3-point challenges, pass challenges. It's gonna be at least a 2-hour event, probably even longer, because it's multiple competitors.
shit.
Not only that, but as far as I know, um, when is Vengeance Day for
Mm,
NXT?
Pull that
That's
up.
that's enough. They're not on the same day, are they? I
It
don't think
might.
they are.
I think it might be.
Please, dear God, let it not be on the same day. Please,
Saturday,
dear God. That is the last thing
February 15th at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So
they are trying to put the dagger in AEW. They are trying
yeah.
to put the dagger in AEW. Here's the reason why. How cursed has this Grand Slam Australia show been from Jump
Yes.
Street?
Yeah,
They
like it's been bad. Like how many times did we thought it was going to be like Australia's version of All In. They made it seem
it
like
was
that.
supposed to be. That
Yeah.
was what it was supposed to be.
And then
It
they're
was
like,
supposed
nope.
Yeah, they had to downscale the venue, which I'm never gonna rag on because I, for one, am of the belief that if AEW scales down their live show attendance venues to about 1,500 seat arenas,
Yeah.
rather than trying to fill these 10, 12,000 seat arenas that they cannot fill
Nope.
whatsoever, if they continuously do the shows from 1,500 seat arenas, aesthetically the show would look a lot better. Look how it did when they went to the esports arena in Arlington for that month and a half. How
Yeah.
great the collision shows looked. It was brightly lit, the seats were filled, there was no talk of, oh, there's nobody there, there's no attendance, it's dead. It looked great. But for the Australia show to go from let's do an all-in level Australia show to now we got to downsize to now we don't even know what time the event is going to be able to be broadcasted.
Nope.
Not only that, you got NXT in the background with Vengeance Day. Honestly, like
Yeah,
I
but
still have,
it's at 6 though. So
but that's the point. If Vengeance Day happens to be a banger show,
which it will.
and which it will, something big happens, it doesn't matter what Grand Slam Australia does at 2:30 in the morning,
Yeah.
everybody's going to be talking about what happened on Vengeance Day.
Mhm.
Mind you, I haven't caught up on NXT, so all I know is that the main event is Oba Femi versus Austin Theory versus Grayson Waller in a triple threat match. Imagine if that night is the night Austin Theory comes to his senses and
Yeah.
dumps his tag team partner in Grayson Waller, which everybody's been clamoring for. If they can knock that out of the park, that right there alone puts AEW Grand Slam Australia is back against the wall like Pat Mahomes. You know,
Yeah, yeah. You know what's
this
even worse than that too? They
what's that?
they made the NXT Women's title a Fatal 4-Way now. They put Cora Jade in it.
I'm gonna metaphorically run my head into a wall.
So, and AEW is screwed Saturday. Like that. Like you have Bailey, Roxanne, Julia, Cora Jade, all in one match for a title. Like you're just trying to kill somebody at that point, and that would be
This is
AEW.
crazy.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
This is
it's
crazy. I think somebody asked if I was like gonna be doing a watch along for Grand Slam Australia. I said, "Are you crazy?"
you're like, do you want me to fall asleep on stream? They get in you can get in trouble
which
for that.
which will happen because
Yeah.
I've been known. There have been some times when early days of starting the stream and everything, and it's a dead chat.
Yep.
Nobody's doing nothing, and I'm just fucking in another
Dozing
dimension.
off. Yeah.
Yeah. So like
You can't have
yeah,
that.
I think we're gonna just stick with NXT as far as streaming wise. But yeah, that's golly, that show is cursed.
Oh, it really is. I don't care
And,
how many people they try to shove on that card, it's still
and the
so
fact that
cursed.
like, I mean, you're gonna get Tony Storm back in her home country, Harley Cameron back in her home country,
Buddy.
uh, Buddy Murph. I was gonna call him, but I
Oh, no,
keep
not a
doing
curse. Nope, nope, curse name.
that. Buddy Matthews. I mean, for all intent purposes, this
Kyle.
should. Oh my God, how many Australians are there?
A
Like,
lot.
this should be a big show. I don't feel like marketing wise they've done a all hands on deck,
No.
full frontal, like full court press. Let's just blast this shit and make sure everybody knows about Grand Slam Australia. I honestly think the reason they haven't is because without a concrete time of this is when the event is going to start,
Yeah, what are you
you
gonna do?
you can't really get far. You can't really get
Nope.
far with whenever the NBA All-Star Skills Challenge decides to finish, is that's when we're going to start. This is this is not good. This is
Mm-mm.
not good. And I honestly wonder if ever there was a time where there was a negotiation where we could have gotten, I don't know, I'm just saying, I'm spitballing in my head, if there was ever a time where we could have gotten WWE programming on TNT or TBS, and the big stopping factor was they couldn't compete with the time slots for like NBA and stuff like that, because obviously you see it gets in the way of what you're trying to do as a company, as a wrestling company.
Yeah, it's it's just
Yeah.
you just shake your head because they never learn. They just
And it's just, I mean, it's part like never learn, and I can kind of see it kind of feels like part just they're a 6-year-old company. Um these are kind of like the growing pains of like probably what Vince McMahon had to go through when he first acquired the WWE back in the 80s, of like, okay, we're we're metaphorically screwed here.
yeah.
This is going to make us look bad no matter what. We're just going to have to roll with the punches. The problem is it's like coming at a time where AEW, for me as a fan watching the program, I'm just it's so uninspiring. That's the best way I
Yeah.
could put it. Like, it does just, the program as a whole, whether it's Dynamite or Collision, it just doesn't give me a feeling of this is the type of wrestling I want to see on a weekly basis. This is what's going to keep bringing me back. I can kind of tell it with the viewership of the streams. When it comes to AEW, the numbers aren't the same when it comes to WWE, and I can't really gauge a metric like that, but I do see that
Mhm.
there is a downturn because AEW, at the same time as trying to get new eyes on their product, AEW is trying to do something different than what people are accustomed to, which is very
Yeah.
hard to do.
Yeah, especially when you don't really or when you're not operating at maximum capacity, I think would be the
Yeah,
best way to put it.
yeah.
It's just kind of a recipe for disaster, and we're really seeing that with Grand Slam Australia, unfortunately. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's is what it is. Maybe we'll watch it, maybe we won't. Who knows?
I'm gonna watch it, but most likely there's a high key chance it'll be off the DVR rather
Oh
than
well, yeah.
watching
I
it
mean,
live.
I watching it live, maybe not, might not happen. Who knows?
Yeah, watching it live probably isn't gonna happen.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next week. We'll see if anybody survived, but um, it's you just shake your head. All right, so I can now breathe again because Dakota's back, thank God. And
Yes.
boy, was that a fun match. That was a fun match.
Ooh, what a banger.
That was
What a
great.
banger.
The thing that
I
like got me about that whole thing, of all people, I could have swore Io broke her nose on that like Oblivion kind of like modified whatever the hell they were
Right.
doing. And I'm like, she's got to start bleeding. Like, there's no way. She fully caught that knee right in the nose. And then Liv ends up bleeding. And I'm like, what the
Yeah.
fuck's going on? Like, what
You
happened there?
you
But
know what? When Liv started bleeding, I think you know what caused it, and this is just from what I saw from the clip. I
mm,
think it was that part where Raquel was using her as a weapon, as a like a
yeah,
battering ram. I think when she collided with Io,
yeah.
that's what caused the cut on the side of Liv's head. That was a deep cut.
Yeah, because if you watch like the segment with the Judgment
Mhm.
Day, they didn't even stitch that thing or anything, and I'm like, ooh, that's that's a,
That
why did you not stitch that, guys? It's
that
a little deep
probably,
there.
yeah, maybe that was a call on production, or maybe Liv's end, to be like, I want to look more badass, which it made her
Yep,
look
it
more
did.
badass. But that match, that first
Loved it.
hour of women's matches, that match in particular, that tag match, and then the match with Bailey and Lyra,
Yeah,
my God,
very
what
good.
a series of matches right there off the bat. And I was just like locked in. They were amazing matches.
Yeah, I don't. I definitely love. Definitely happy Damage Control won. I
Yeah, definitely. I was kind of wondering if like Damage Control lost and then Io kind of loses her mind again and goes back to being the absolute psycho that she is. I
not yet.
thought that maybe what that they were doing. maybe they're holding off till after Mania or after the Elimination Chamber, because they're making a big deal about Io Sky wanting to be on the WrestleMania card.
Yeah,
And as it seems, she's got the title shot with Rhea the day after Elimination Chamber, the Raw after Elimination Chamber.
yeah,
But that doesn't necessarily mean that she'll win and end up at WrestleMania. So this is an
exactly.
interesting little story they're trying to tell with Io.
It's funny that you would say that because if you shockingly look on Twitter, a lot of people are just bitching because what do you mean she's not going to be fighting for the title at Mania? Why is it not this? Why is it not that? It's like, guys, you kind of have to wait and see. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, am
See,
I
this
shocked?
is
I'm shocked she's not in the chamber, but
right.
there might be something else they're doing. It's like, guys, you kind of just have to need to fucking relax a little bit.
You have
Just a
to. I
little.
mean, that's why honestly, it may be bad like for content wise, but I rarely spend time on the wrestling side of Twitter or anything like that. Mainly as far as hearing people's opinions, and I've said this before, even people's opinions that I would probably agree with.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you give me a tone of I know more than you, or I'm
Yeah.
an expert and everybody's stupid, you may have an opinion that I would ultimately agree with, but your
Hmm.
tone just makes me go, I don't care, I don't want to see it. You know,
Yeah.
and it's gotten to that point because we as a fan base now, it's become a thing where if your favorite doesn't win, it's a conspiracy. The whole company's trying to hold them down.
Yeah.
Mind you, they're talking about, someone who predominantly wrestles on main event or something like that. Like it's just like, what are
Yeah.
we doing here? We are eating good as wrestling fans. If you're a fan of the WWE, we are eating very, very good. You would think like after the Royal Rumble, storyline wise, things were kind of calm down. We were kind of getting a lull so that way we can amp it up for Mania. This Elimination Chamber situation with like who's going in the chamber and people realizing it might be their last shot to get on the WrestleMania card. The situation with Gunther and Jey Uso took a major turn on Monday. Like we're this is the best WWE's been to me since the Attitude Era, since the days of Austin and The Rock.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned the oh well, if my favorite's not winning, then it's just like it's against them, whatever. You kind of have another viewpoint of that too, where it's as we we probably know as Rhea Ripley fans, there's
Hmm.
that subsection of other fans that are not Rhea Ripley fans where she's overpushed, she's overrated,
Yeah,
she's not worth it, and it's just like
yeah.
I unfortunately have some friends that maybe like that, and it's just like, guys, not everybody can be number one at the same time. And last I checked, if you got the title, you're number one, and you also can't really deny the fact that Rhea is probably, without a doubt, the most popular woman, one of the most popular wrestlers, period, you have on your roster. So you
And,
think if they're more popular, they're going to show them a little more. That's kind of just how law of averages work.
yeah, I mean, that's what makes an entertainment business stay afloat. And this is what makes the WWE $1 billion entertainment business. You look at Rhea Ripley and you say, why is Rhea Ripley in a position that she's in? I'll tell you why. Because Rhea Ripley has single handedly brought in
Hmm.
millions of fans that weren't even wrestling fans to begin with. I have said it
Yeah.
multiple times on this podcast. I know people, and through streaming, and because I am a big supporter of streamers, not necessarily just wrestling streamers, but gamers
Yep.
and other streamers like that, that when they see that I do the wrestling content, first thing they say, what do they say? Oh, you must know about Rhea Ripley,
Replay.
man.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she is so awesome. Rhea Ripley this, Rhea Ripley that. I can't, if I had a dime for every time that has happened, once
Hmm.
I start talking about wrestling, I'd be rich
Yeah.
because Rhea Ripley has single handedly brought a huge amount of new eyes to the product, a product that has been around for 70 plus years.
Yeah.
under a pop culture institution, and they're still bringing in new people that are like, okay, this shit might actually be cool, which is why they got guys like Kai Cenat on their Speed, and they're bringing in the new eyes. Imagine having something that is your own, where you don't have to go get a Kai Cenat or I Show Speed. You have your own Rhea Ripley, and you just plop her out there, and you go, money, and it's
Yeah.
just money flowing. It's the same thing with Jay Uso. Jay Uso is
Hmm.
starting to bring in that outside of the box. Nobody really used to watch this wrestling until he showed up, started doing the Yeet thing, and the arenas are going crazy. Again, Jay Uso is a perfect example of whatever you read on the internet is in its own little echo chamber.
Yeah.
It's in its own little bubble because Jay Uso won the Royal Rumble. Everybody started bitching, but for the past week and a half, they've been having to replay his entrance over and over again because the
Yeah.
live audience, the audience that matters, because they are the paying customer, they want to see that shit,
Yeah,
you
it's just
know?
like you like I said, it's great if you're a fan of said wrestler, but if you are not, it's yeah, but it's just tough because it's like yes, you get it because you want your favorites to be in like good positions.
Mm-hmm.
That's not always going to be able to happen. Like it's
It
not
can't.
always possible. It's just
It
like
can't.
I mean, granted, I'm probably like in a good position because yes, I am always in the trenches being a Dakota and Shayna fan, but I'm also a Rhea fan, so it's like it balances out, and it's just it just gets old seeing the whole. Well, my personal favorite one, and you'll roll your eyes at this, was that Rhea doesn't do the jobs for people, and
Oh, shut
it's like, are
up.
we
Like,
really gonna fucking do this shit now? It's like
shut.
this is how you know
Re,
you guys don't know what you're talking about at all.
Rhea won't do the job. She won't put somebody over. Shut
It's
up.
like, shut
You
up.
you
Like,
can't even run the ropes 5 times without heaving. Like,
yeah.
why are you like, this is what I mean. This is the stuff that I try to avoid as a fan and as a podcaster, is
Yeah.
doing those things. Is like, oh, she won't put somebody over, she won't do the job. Do you understand, as soon as you start talking like that,
You're done.
wrestlers shut the fuck down and they instantly hate you,
Yeah.
you
You
know
you are literally what they talk about behind the scenes.
Exactly. That's why you never hear us talking about, oh, so and so is a mark, so and
Yeah.
so won't put somebody over, so and so won't do a job, because we're fans. That is
Yeah.
for them to decide. Like you said, there has to be a winner, there has to be a loser. Somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. I think that is why, for me as a wrestling fan, I may be in a different boat, because I don't look at it as, oh, that's my favorite, this person, I like this person, I don't like this person. I look at it as like the grand scheme. Like, what is
Yeah.
the story that they're trying to tell? How are they trying to entertain me? And that's how I gauge it. It's not necessarily, oh, I like Jay Uso, I dislike Jay Uso. I
Yeah.
like Gunther, I dislike Gunther. I dislike Logan Paul,
Yeah.
but it is what it is. Of course, I understand why he won on Monday Night Raw to qualify for the Chamber. You don't see me going on a 10-tweet tirade about Logan Paul. We all know people hate Logan Paul.
Yeah.
We all know people don't want to see Logan Paul. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're not gonna
You know,
listen to you. Like,
you're not the paid customer. You're the guy on Twitter. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
you're lowest of the low in terms of like the totem pole of what WWE cares about. What they care about on the bottom is the average Twitter user. What they care about at the top is the dad that works all week so that way he could take his kid to the WWE live event and spend about $250 on concessions and WWE merchandise.
Yeah.
That's who they care about.
Yeah, exactly. And someone made a very good point about I'm trying to remember. It was somebody that it was the whole hashtag we want insert wrestler here. I don't remember who it was, but someone said the problem is that everyone assumes that oh well the whole we want Cody thing worked and they're like yes it did. However, it translated off of online into the actual crowds. It wasn't just all over
Right,
online.
yeah.
So once it starts getting into the live crowds then that's one thing, but if all it is just Twitter noise, they're not going to take a lot of stock into that. Like that's just how it is. But
Yeah, exactly. They don't care. They just don't care unless you're paying the live attendance and you're in the crowd live yeeting on camera.
yeah,
They already got your money because you're already paying for Netflix.
yeah,
You're already gonna pay for the Peacock subscription so you could watch the pay-per-views. They got your money, bro.
yeah.
It's over.
They
Like
don't care.
you're yelling into the void. Like you know, like
Yeah, and it's a sad thing when it happens because it's just like you could be doing a lot more things that are way more productive than screaming on Twitter because then you're just one of those people and we roll our eyes at you.
exactly.
All right, so now that we're done with that one, let's go back. Let me pull this back up. Okay, so when do Ricky Starks and Malachi Black appear with WWE? Mom thinks
Mm.
they made a huge mistake letting them go. Okay, I'll rephrase that, at least in my opinion. It wasn't a huge mistake letting them go. It was a huge mistake having them get to that point in the first place.
Ooh, yes, yes, yes. Those are those like you never want to be the boss that has favorites, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
But those two guys, especially Ricky Starks, are guys that you don't necessarily want to placate, but if you need to position guys to be like, okay, this is who I should build the promotion around.
yeah.
These are the
He's
guys
your
that should be
guy.
at the forefront. Those Ricky Starks is
Yeah, both of them.
definitely your guy. Both of
Yeah,
them are your guys. Ricky Starks is world champion material
yeah,
through and through without hesitation. If I'm building up a promotion, a wrestling promotion, and I have a chance to exclusively sign Ricky Starks to my wrestling promotion, you best damn believe Ricky Starks is my world champion.
literally.
That's how good this guy is. This is not a this is not an overstatement. This is not an understatement. This is not like some sort of hyperbole or anything like that. Ricky Starks is world champion material. So to let Ricky Starks go is one thing. To let Ricky Starks go because Ricky Starks was unhappy because all Ricky Starks wanted to do was work.
Yeah,
Because Ricky Starks knew that he was such a good worker. Ricky Starks is endorsed by the Undertaker.
yeah, with
Do do
yeah.
do you do you realize the gauge of the radar of talent that
Hmm.
the Undertaker has? Whatever you feel about the Undertaker, understand that there's a reason that that man is the gatekeeper of the WWE, and if he gives you his seal of approval,
Yeah, you're good.
you're golden. And to let that go because simply the guy says, I'm pretty much better than a lot of people in this locker room.
Yeah,
I mean, for God's sakes, Kenny Omega, he's the EVP of AEW, and it's publicly known. He stated himself, I wouldn't hire 80% of you.
yeah.
You
Literally,
know,
like
you know,
not
so
great.
so to not to not even use Ricky Starks.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's say you're not going to re-sign him, but you still have time on his contract. He's healthy. He could work. He can. Why are you not putting him on TV? Even if you don't like him, even if you know he's going to walk once his contract is up,
Yeah,
milk that sucker.
yeah.
You
Literally,
know,
like you might as well. You got him on under your contract. It's
because I mean, if you build, let's say Ricky Starks wants to leave AEW, his contract is up, you know he's bouncing, but you want to use him because you want to make money. Why not do something crazy and start a Ricky Starks Adam Cole program?
yeah.
Right? You
Why
start
not?
something right, you start some crazy like some crazy MJF Ricky Starks program. The
Yeah,
program takes off. You start making money. Ricky Starks is now on TV all the time on the promotional posters for the last 3 months he's on contract with AEW.
hmm
You don't think that that's a bargaining chip that you can go to Ricky and say, "Hey Ricky, we may have this new contract that you might want to take a look at. It's a
yeah.
definite raise from what you were getting before, more dates, more prominent positions in the program,
hmm
all that stuff." You don't think that maybe he might sign? And if he does sign, that means you make more money?
Yeah, like it's not. Well, and then the flip side too, when you look at Malachi, you don't even need to wonder if he's world championship material. He is. It's called
He's already,
NXT.
yeah, he's already.
Like,
And the thing was, like, if you look back at it, like, he is it's better to be an underrated champion than to either
Yes.
be an overrated champion or just the champion. He was an underrated NXT champion where
Yeah.
you knew when the belt was on him, it was solid. He had those matches against Cole, he had those matches against Gargano, he had the whole
Hmm.
situation. You know, this guy is a solid dude, and you could put him in the. I mean, this is a situation where WWE knew he was unhappy.
Yeah.
They knew he wasn't going to re-sign a contract. They knew they could put any offer on the table and he'd probably jump at it and take it. So what do? They go, we know he's unhappy. We're just waiting for him. And what do they say? We see him as a main event guy.
Yeah. Cause
If
he
you're
is.
if you're Malachi Black, what do? You go back to where you know they don't want you as a main event guy,
Yeah.
or you go to where you were before, where your wife is, where all your friends are, and oh, they also want to make you a prominent figure on the programs. The
Yeah.
programs which are the hottest thing in the entire fucking world right now. They want to make you a focal point on it. Like
Yeah.
it's a no-brainer. It's chess to checkers, and this is starting to become the part where like WWE was kind of playing with AEW, like, you know,
Yeah.
the predator playing with the prey a little bit, not really wanting to eat it, just kind of poke at it. There's gonna come a time where for the hell of it, WWE is gonna start chomping down,
Oh
and
yeah.
you're gonna start feeling the heat. That's why when you brought up this whole situation with AEW Grand Slam and the timing and the fact that Vengeance Day is the same day, I went, oh, not
Yeah.
again,
You're like, it's
not
happening.
again.
It's
It's
happening.
happening. It's happening again. This is just gonna keep happening. I don't want to be that contrarian guy. I want AEW to succeed. I have a lot of people that I enjoy watching in AEW,
Yeah.
and I think the more wrestling, the more different wrestling there is, the better. But I'm starting to get Dixie Carter TNA vibes.
Oh
I'm
no.
I'm I'm
No.
I, I'm starting to get
Ugh.
Dixie Carter TNA vibes, where you can watch the show and go, okay, that AJ Styles segment was pretty good, but what the hell was that Aces and Eights segment?
Yeah.
What was going on
Yeah.
there? And there again, I have to sit here and watch the AEW programming, and not only that, be mindful of the way I'm watching the programming, if it's entertaining to the people that I am streaming to.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, people are not having fun.
No, they're
Not
not.
like they used to. I used to be able to rope people in and be like, oh well, you know, you'll like MJF because he's a dickbag and he's an asshole, and then MJF would do his thing, and they'd be like, oh, this guy's an asshole. I'm gonna lock it in because I hate this guy.
Yeah.
I want to see this guy get his ass beat. Here's the problem: nobody wants to see MJF get his ass beat by a 60-year-old man.
No. No, they
That's
don't.
it. That's it.
Like,
That's it. Like, and
fucking unbelievable.
we're losing, Tony. We're losing the
We're losing it.
vision.
You're losing it.
You were losing the vision, Tony, brother. Let's lock it in. We need to get it together. We need to
It's
get it together.
it's
Because
just insane.
here's the thing too. Here's what's also in the back of my mind. All in the past 2 years has been in London, which is great because no matter what, you know, the UK crowd is going to show up and show out for some professional wrestling. They
Yeah.
love professional wrestling. All in this year is in Texas. Texas is not London.
Not even close.
Not even close.
not
Not
even
only
close.
that, but they're trying to do it in Globe Life Stadium where the Rangers play
Yeah.
baseball. So that's at least they're trying to fill another 40, 50, 60,000 seat place in America where they're not doing so hot.
No, like not at all. It's just it's just still it just makes me so fucking mad because we've said it 5,000 different times. It's just Malachi is one of the most creative minds in like wrestling period, and so it's just
Mhm.
really it just rubs me the wrong way that he never got to really realize that potential in AEW. So hopefully they will, learn their lesson, and too bad for them, but he'll do just fine in WWE because let's be real, when it's not be stupid here. We know where he's going. Like,
Just make sure he has his old entrance theme. That's
oh, if
all I
they
care
don't,
about.
I'm throwing hands. I'm
If
swinging.
they
I don't
don't,
care. Like,
if they don't, whatever he does is an abject failure.
yo,
I need that.
like,
I need that incendiary entrance theme. I'm not playing. Pay whatever you got to
if
pay CFO to get that theme back because they need to do what they did with AJ Styles and they
yeah,
brought back his old. If they could do it with AJ Styles, they could do it for Alistair. Damn it.
if we don't hear that guitar riff
Oh
and the
my
lights
god.
go out, I'm again, I'm swinging. I'm literally, I'm swinging. I'm throwing hands with somebody. Like, it's got to
Oh my
happen.
god.
Anyway, all right, so let's just keep going.
Yeah.
So, well, and actually keeping up with the next question, who's the next one to leave AEW?
Who's the next one? If I don't know contract situations in AEW.
Yeah,
So it's kind of hard to tell. Mm.
maybe it's almost like a speculative, not a speculative, but like if there would be one in whatever world would be the next one to go, who would it be? And unfortunately, I feel like you know what I'm gonna say.
I
I'm
want to
not
hear
gonna
what.
like Brit.
Okay, I'll take that. No, and you know what, I'll take it. And it's not that I don't like. It's the point of they're gonna get Ricky Starks. They're gonna get Malachi if they want to. Like the whole situation with Miro coming out, I was like, if they get 2 out of the 3, it's a dagger. If
Yeah,
they get all 3, it's just for shits and giggles because
yeah,
they really don't need me. Unfortunately, I was never a Miro guy.
me neither.
I was never really a Rusev guy.
No,
Rusev Day was kind of entertaining, but it wasn't enough for me to be like, yeah, I'm on board with that guy. But I feel like if they get all 3, it's just for shits and giggles. Point is, I'm trying to make what the question is after that. And you brought up a good one with Britt. Who else do they really need? Everybody else is like an ex WWE person.
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
yeah,
you can go after Danny Garcia, but we already know Danny
yeah,
Garcia is pretty loyal.
yeah. He's not going
Um,
anywhere.
MJF got a stupid ass tattoo on his leg, so you know.
Well, that can be taken out with lasers. It's fine. You don't have to worry about that.
I gotta imagine, his face when they were like, "Yeah, we want to put you in a program with Jeff Jarrett." He was like, "Fuck
He's
me."
just like, I
Um,
hate it here.
I honestly think that, and this is gonna sound really hater, but
Hmm.
like whenever Will Ospreay's contract is up,
Yeah.
Triple H can make another run at him and be like, "Come on,
Hey, hey, like, hey, come
you know that
on.
running from the grind thing. That was just talking. That wasn't. I honestly, there's a part of me that believes that as much as Will Ospreay loves being in AEW, and again, I'm just speaking as a fan. This is my perspective. I don't know Will Ospreay,
Yeah,
but I honestly feel like there has to be a piece of him that is like, what if is Will Ospreay gonna be the next Sting, the
yeah,
next Kenny Omega, the next, oh my god, AJ Styles? Is he gonna be the next guy that this guy needs to be in WWE, but there's a chance he may not even get there because he wants to stick to his guns.
yeah,
You know, it's for me, Britt is a solid, almost definite choice to be like, they could probably land her because she doesn't want to be there anymore. But I'm talking full on make a wish. I'm going Will Ospreay.
yeah. I mean, I could see that. I feel like, I mean, if we're just going like wish list, Chris Statlander, because I want Stat
Hmm.
versus Rhea. Like, that's what I want. But
Stat versus Rhea would be fun. Stat versus Lash Legend.
yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
god. Ay,
uh-huh.
ay, ay, ay,
I
ay.
know, but anyway,
Stat versus Jada Parker. I mean,
Stat
Stat
versus Jade
versus,
again,
yeah,
right
Stat
back.
versus, and because
Bianca.
that was Jade's best AEW match, was her exit match
Yeah,
against Statlander. So they could cook.
yeah, of course. And that, well, hell, Stat and Bianca. Like,
Oh my god, that would just be
I know.
it'd be an embarrassment of riches at that point.
Yeah, it'd be like, okay, guys, you can just go home. It's fine.
Yeah, seriously.
All right. Anyway, all right. So, mom's last question, very simple. Who wins the elimination chambers?
Whew.
Um, I feel like for
They
the men, it still has to be Cena, probably. Like,
you think we're getting Cena Cody at Mania?
I the worst part about it is that you can look at. I mean, obviously, none of the chambers, like the participants, are fully set in stone yet, but especially the men's, you could look at pretty much everybody in there right now, with the exception of Logan Paul, and go, "Oh yeah, they could totally see them winning and
Mhm.
making it up there." I don't know. Fuck, I don't know. Like, I'll probably go back and forth on it. I feel
What
like,
what the most interesting thing to me is that we're looking at it, and I feel like 95% of the wrestling audience is looking at it from a standpoint where we're not going to get Cody versus Roman 3, which
yeah,
probably at one point was the original plan. But now you can go Cena Cody, you can go you already have Jay Gunther, but you can go Cena Cody, you can
yeah,
go Cody Punk, you can
yeah,
go Cody Raw. That's the thing about WWE that is making it so crazy, is that these stories, there is no lull period, especially after a big show where you just had 70,000 people. You're like, nah, we're going to keep it going. We're going to keep, the gas pedal going all the way to Elimination Chamber. And in one match, you got you got CM Punk, John Cena, who else qualified? Logan Paul qualified. And
yeah,
then there's
but
a but I mean, like, you could either get Finn Balor, like, it's an all-star, so it's
yeah,
really hard to tell. I think safe bet would say Cena.
yeah,
Heart bet would be Punk for now.
yeah.
For the men, for the women,
I have no fucking idea. I
I have
genuinely don't, because I feel
I don't
like,
know.
I guess I'm just still stuck on, like, it could be Io and Rhea at Mania, but at this rate, it's
Well,
just
but
like,
yeah,
just
well,
looking at who
no.
they have right now, it's just like, I don't want to see any. Okay, all right, I'm just gonna, with the exception of one person, maybe, because I feel like it's pretty obvious it's gonna be Tiffany and Charlotte.
Yeah, it's
So
gonna be
who?
Tiffany and Charlotte. So this person's going to go after Rhea's title.
So looking at who's in it right now, with the exception of one woman, I'm looking at all of them through the lens of this is going to be Rhea's opponent, and I'm like, I don't want to fucking see any of these people wrestle Rhea. Like I don't want to see Liv. I don't really. I
Maybe
mean,
they might go back to Bianca. Bianca.
Alexa Bliss would be fun. That was my exception.
That would be good. That would be good.
But it also depends on who. Well, because I feel like you got to put Roxanne in
Ooh.
there. Roxanne might move. Might go be Roxanne.
Could you imagine if they go with Alexa and that kicks off Alexa's allegiance to the Wyatt Six, and they use it to kind of target Rhea with the spooky shit, knowing that Rhea's down with the spooky shit?
Maybe. Well, because I feel like they're not as like dead set on, oh well, she's on SmackDown, so she can't challenge for a Raw title. I feel like they've kind of
Oh,
like,
that's true. I forgot about that.
but that's my thing. It's like I feel like they just make the exceptions when they feel like it, so I wouldn't
Of
be
course.
surprised. But like if you look at just the Raw side of the chamber, I'm like, none of these people, none of these women I want to see face Rhea. Like none of this
Yeah.
screams WrestleMania match to me. Like Liv, please no. I don't want to hear 5 more months
No, no,
of,
no. No more Liv.
I don't want more. I don't want any Liv. I'm tired of Liv.
No
I'm
more
over it.
Liv.
Bailey, it's like there's no point. So it's like, what are we doing? Like, what's fucking going on? I don't know. I don't know.
um
I genuinely
I,
have no idea at this point. I'm just gonna say, at least for the people we have now in the chamber,
did
because
I
again,
just read your message, your DM that you just sent me?
uh, yeah. I was gonna say, do we want to
What
do a breaking news thing as we're sitting here?
the fuck is happening? I'm sorry to cut you off
No,
mid
like,
like
go,
thought.
no, go.
I just like I'm sitting here for like the 20 seconds. I'm going, that has to be Photoshop.
And then you're like, it's not Photoshop.
I'm sorry for cutting you off. That was like the most unprofessional way to
Oh
cut you
no,
off.
no, but that's
Um,
like, this is like breaking news stuff though.
yeah, breaking news. Shay just sent me a DM. NXT has a special guest by the name of Absolute Ricky Starks.
That was quick. Hey, they were quick.
They are not fucking around. Do you understand? This is
Yeah.
not a game,
This means
Tony
Malachi could
Khan.
Malachi could show up on Friday, and I pretty much am
Oh,
almost like guaranteeing he's showing up on Friday. Like,
oh, oh, Mamma Mia.
this is like this is fucking wild. Like,
Oh,
uh,
if yo, I'm envisioning. I don't know if you've ever seen Game of Thrones, but there's that one gif of the kid just climbing to
jumping
the
out the
window,
window.
yeah,
Yeah,
and just jumping out.
yeah,
That's yeah, 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 yeah. I know NXT, that building. You probably felt the rafters shake. I can't wait
yeah,
till we're done because
yeah. I
I'm
want to go
going back.
watch it.
I'm not even caught up on NXT. I don't even give a shit. I'm fast forwarding right to this episode and watching that because that's incredible.
You know what's
Ricky
funny?
Starks is on NXT. Holy shit.
I just saw I just saw someone take that picture that I sent you of him, and someone already word or already quote tweeted it and said, "If I text you this picture, it means I'm gonna get shit done ASAP." Which,
Oh my god.
yeah, it
But
was quick.
where the fuck were we? Like
Oh, the women's chamber.
the women's chamber, yes.
As much as I would like to say Roxanne, I'm not guaranteed she's gonna win because leave it to them to fucking put Raquel Rodriguez in this chamber, which is just like what the fuck
Ooh.
ever.
I gotta give it though. Raquel, aside from injuring her partner, really had a great showing last
Yeah,
night in that
yeah.
tag match was phenomenal. All four ladies really deserve a lot of credit for an amazing tag match.
Yeah, it was good. It was definitely my favorite match of the night, easily. I feel like at least with just the people we know, I'm just gonna go with either Alexa or Bianca. More leaning towards Alexa because I feel like they'll just say
Hmm.
screw it. We don't care if she's on the other show. We're just gonna do it anyway because
Yeah,
they
yeah.
would.
I think Bianca is who I would put my money on. And I wouldn't
Yeah.
be mad at that, honestly, because a Bianca Rhea Ripley match, especially on this, like Bianca Belair is like AJ Styles level of dependability in terms
Yes.
of in-ring performance. You know this girl is gonna hit all the moves. She's gonna make it look crisp. It's gonna look great.
However, isn't she gonna possibly get into something with Jade and Naomi though at
Ooh.
WrestleMania? So I don't. That's why I'm saying I'm thinking it's going to be Alexa, or if Roxanne gets it, wouldn't it be something if Roxanne comes in and
I'd
just?
buy it. I
I'm
honestly,
okay with it.
after her performance in the Rumble,
She could do it.
I'm fully buying into the Prodigy thing. I'm fully
Yeah.
buying into whatever Booker T did to this girl. It is working because she's out there hooping. Like
Yeah.
she is going crazy right now. Again,
Okay, so I changed my mind. It's Roxanne or Alexa. I'm not saying Bianca
oh,
anymore.
oh,
Because Bianca, again, it just would make more sense for her to do whatever, be involved in whatever program Jade's going to be in, because I feel like that's kind of the
yeah.
whole point of everything. So yeah, we'll go with Alexa or Roxanne.
I
As long
would
as Roxanne makes it in, which
I I'm I'm gonna stick with my smart head bet and go with Bianca,
yeah,
but my heart says Alexa. But
yeah,
again,
yeah,
it's just the logistics of it all.
yeah,
With Raw, SmackDown. This is another reason why I would much rather there be a soft brand split rather than a
yeah,
concrete brand split because it's just easier to move pieces around like that where people don't feel so locked in. My thought process has always been you don't want to put yourself in a position where you run out of options creatively,
yeah,
and
yeah,
having that tough brand split where someone's only on Raw or only on SmackDown, that handicaps you creatively where you have to worry about that becomes a factor in your decision making. That's why I would much rather there be kind of like a soft brand split where it's
yeah,
not set in concrete that is your home brand.
yeah. I agree. That would be the only way Alexa winning and challenging Rhea would make sense is if they kind of do that, but it remains to be seen. But should be an interesting chamber for both sides because it's pretty much anybody's game at this point, except Logan
For
Paul
sure.
and Liv. Let's be real here, but Anyway, so that was all of Mom's questions. So, Mom, thank
Thank
you.
you, Mom. Thanks, Mom.
And let us move on to Mike's questions. This first one, he said, "Okay, it's time to come clean. Which of you two are making the romantic gestures to Asuka?"
And not me, because
Not me.
I don't know how to romance that woman. I can romance a woman, but romancing Asuka seems kind of tough.
Yeah, I don't
She's
know if
a
if I could do that though.
yeah,
Um,
she's an interesting cookie, but man, what a horrible situation to be in,
yeah,
for
that
her.
was part of his question actually. Anyway, it's like seriously though, what the fuck's wrong with wrestling fans? The fact that she had to get WWE security dispatched to her due to some obsessive fans is awful. Yeah, we've talked about it time and time again. People just kind of forget that hey, these are
It's
still actually human beings that aren't so like immune to problems. So maybe don't
right.
be the cause of their problems because
Yeah,
you're just weird. Like you're fucking weird.
and I think that's what frustrates me the most is that you and I and every logical, normal brained wrestling fan can sit up and yell, "Hey, that's weird. Stop doing that." And it's not going to stop.
No,
And,
never.
and that is the craziest thing about all of this is that there are far more normal brained wrestling fans that could tell you, hey, this isn't cool. Don't do this. We need to stand up against this. But it's like, it's so outrageous from the minuscule amount of people that do it that's what overtakes the attention. It's just really weird, and it makes me feel bad as a person. It makes me feel bad as a wrestling fan because then you and I get lumped into that, and it makes our
Yeah.
job harder too. Where one day down the road we're going to try to connect with these individuals maybe for content or whatever,
Yeah.
and they look at us and we're just wrestling fans, but wrestling fans are fucking generally weird individuals who can't just be
Yeah.
normal. Like, why
Nope.
can't we just be normal?
We
It's
can't.
really, it's not that hard to just be like, hey, you're Oscar. I enjoy what you do. Do you have time for a selfie? No? Okay, I'm sorry. Have a nice day.
Yeah, like
That's
don't be an idiot about it.
that's it. That it's like, why do we have to be so weird? Like, I don't
Yeah.
get it.
I
I don't
I don't get it either. It's just
I am I feel like that. You ever seen the movie The Watchmen? The guy where
yeah.
he's just like,
Yep.
I'm tired of these people. I am not of these people. Like,
Yeah.
get me off this ride, okay? Because poor Oscar
Get me off the roller
doesn't
coaster. I've
deserve
had
this.
enough.
Yeah, poor Oscar doesn't deserve this.
No, not at all. It's just God, people are just fucking weird.
Weird.
Just weird. Just weird. Like
Weird.
ugh, I can't. All right. So so we're going back to AEW for a minute.
Uh-oh.
MJF had said AEW that the E for in AEW is for elite, not elderly. And then Dustin Rhodes comes out. So obviously you and Mike were screaming about this on Wednesday, so they would like
Yeah.
to know my thoughts. I'm right there with you. It's fucking stupid. Like what has happened with MJF? Like he's completely lost the mystique. He's lost the luster. When you're into a program with Jeff Jarrett and Dustin Rhodes, especially somebody like MJF, that's not a good sign of that at all. It's not. It's like, what are we doing? What are we doing here?
You know what royally pissed me off about this
What?
is the fact that you have MJF out there going, hey, I thought the E was standing for elite, not elderly. You're giving ammunition for the anti AEW haters
Yeah.
to point and go, haha, even their own are turning against them. And then
Yeah.
instead of doing something cool, like, he goes, oh, it stands for all elderly wrestling, and then marching out Danny Garcia or
Yeah.
some young or some young gun,
Not
or you
proving
can
the point.
Yeah, like exactly. Because easily you could have had Jay White come out there and go, "Hey, MJF, while we're over here trying to stand up for the company
Yeah.
and trying to fight off the Death Riders because we believe in AEW, all elite wrestling, you're out here running it down and running down the guys that help build this and make it great, like Jeff Jarrett, like Dustin Rhodes, da 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 da, and
Yeah.
have the one-off match because we all know programs and stretched out storylines do not exist in AEW. So you can
Nope.
have the one-off MJF Jay White match right there, and then nobody has the ammunition to go, hey, he called it all elderly wrestling. And what do? They march out a 60-year-old man.
Mm-hmm.
What are we?
Yeah, it's like, are you guys that tone deaf that you're clearly not getting the point that you just literally made? You were just the butt of your own joke.
Here's the thing is, I have all the respect in the world for Jeff Jarrett and what he's accomplished as
Yes.
a professional wrestler. He is to me one of the greats, one of the gods of professional wrestling. Here's the thing though, like you literally turned yourself and the joke into a meme. Like
Yeah.
he goes, it's all elderly wrestling, and then you march out a 60-year-old man, and you're
Yeah.
supposed to be like the whole, oh, Jeff Jarrett still got it. Jeff Jarrett
Not the
is still
point.
great. It's a troll. They're
Yeah.
just they're
Yeah.
trolling to be contrarian. They don't
Mm-hmm.
give a fuck about Jeff Jarrett. If they were able to get 5 guys from NXT to go to over to AEW, you think Jeff Jarrett's still gonna have a space in AEW?
Yeah.
Hell no.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, come on.
It's just
What are
like,
we
guys,
doing?
it's like, did nobody think to run that through their head one time and go, hey, this actually is not a good idea because we're kind of just proving the joke right?
Just
And
because the meme is funny doesn't mean the meme is profitable.
no, because it's really
You
not. And I
know?
swear
And
to
I
God, if
feel
they make that a shirt, I'm gonna scream. I'm gonna fucking scream if
did I
they make that
just
a shirt.
did I just make AEW some money?
Oh God, I think you did. Oh God.
Oh,
If I see that
no.
tomorrow or if in the next few weeks, if I see that, I am showing you, I'm screaming, I am yelling at you. We're not doing that because clearly they still can't get their merchandise right because still to this day they have, and let's be completely honest here, some of the worst fucking shirts I have ever seen in my entire life. How sad is it that every promo, it seems like every week, there's always one line, and as soon as they say it, I'm like, they're gonna make a fucking shirt out of this because they
Yeah.
can't help themselves.
You know what's funny is that on stream I have a sound alert thing that you could pay for, and it's Anna Jay going, I have a fat ass and a bad attitude.
Yeah.
Mike used it one time, and Mike didn't know that that was an actual AEW shirt.
Oh, we
So
didn't.
like,
Oh no.
yeah, he didn't know. So like live on stream, I sent the link in chat, and he was just like, dear God Almighty.
They can't help themselves, and it's just like, guys, you're trying to be like,
They're
I
trying to
don't
be
even.
edgy,
Yeah, and
cool.
just
It's corny. It's
it's
corny.
so fucking corny. Like
It's corny.
that we said, WWE. There are some shirts where I mean, we've said it before. It's very tough as like a wrestling fan wearing shirts in public because either you know it or you
Yeah.
don't, and like we've said, when it comes to like Malachi Black, House of Black, Hounds of Hell, there's stuff you can wear anywhere and you're not going to get any well, I mean from like maybe a certain subsect of people, but you're not going to like from the general public look at your shirt and be like, what the fuck is that? And then you have to explain that, oh, well, this is just a wrestler's shirt and it's because of the whatever. It's like AEW's half of their shirts, three-quarters of their shirts, I would never be caught dead in public wearing. Because how do you
Right.
explain some of these shirts to somebody who doesn't know wrestling? And you
Right.
look like an absolute fucking idiot.
And in the interest of fairness, WWE released a new Pete Dunne shirt
Oh no.
that says it says in big gigantic letters, it says nobody's Butch, but the it has the asterisk, so you don't know if you're a wrestling fan, you know it's Butch, but for the
Nobody's a
normal
bitch.
brain non-wrestling fan, nobody's bitch. So imagine
Yeah.
like being someone out in public with a censored nobody's bitch shirt.
Yeah, it's just sometimes the wrestling merchandise people need to just put down
Awful,
the drawing pad and just go take a nap or
awful,
something. It's
awful.
just so fucking bad.
It comes straight out of the graphic design is my passion meme.
It literally is. Some of their stuff really it's just, oh my god. Uh all right. So which WWE release in the last few days has felt like the biggest gut punch to us?
Ooh, I'll let you go first with that one.
The two I think, at least for me personally, were Sonya and Alba or Isla. That one really made me mad. I was so fucking mad that they got rid of Isla
Yeah.
because I had been following her even before she got to WWE and like before she got to NXT UK and everything. So I'm like, oh, this is finally like her moment. She finally gets her chance, and her and Alba were a great team. I like
Right.
them. I loved Unholy Union. I'm still mad I never got their shirt, but now I guess I see why I didn't. I guess I saw the writing on the wall, but it's just like, God damn it. Like, really? Like, no. Like, I don't like it. And then I don't like Sony either, because it's just like I've liked Sony from the beginning for obvious reasons. And now it's like, why are you getting rid of all the queer wrestlers, Triple H? This is a little like, a little too convenient. I don't really like it. It's a bit of a pattern, but it's just like, God damn it, really? Like, but I
Yeah.
feel like out of all of them, the one I feel the most bad for is Blair Davenport. She got fucked over big
She got
time.
she gave up her Rumble spot to Nikki Bella, I believe what I read.
Yeah,
Um it-
and this is what you get instead is you get your papers.
you get your pay.
Ugh.
I mean, to be fair, I feel like I'm not saying that each of these people, because it is a pretty extensive list. We got AOP, Paul Ellering, Sonya Deville, Isla Dawn, Electra Lopez, Giovanni Vinci, Blair Davenport, Cedric Alexander, and the Good Brothers. I think for me, a surprising one was Cedric Alexander, because I felt
Yeah.
like he was starting to get his footing in NXT, and they were using him very effectively in NXT. Isla Dawn is definitely up there for me as a surprising move. But the others, Sonya Deville is kind of surprising, but AOP hadn't really been a focal point.
No.
Obviously, de facto, Paul Ellering wouldn't be. I was surprised kind of by Electra Lopez
Yeah, that one was kind
being
of out of nowhere.
because like I felt like her with Legato was kind of harmless. So like,
Yeah.
and if they probably put her in the ring more, she probably could have added more to the group.
Yeah.
Um, we all know why Giovanni Vinci got released, and it
Yeah.
wasn't because of his wrestling ability. Like you said, Blair Davenport was kind of a gut punch. Cedric Alexander, the Good Brothers already had a stint with WWE, and they unfortunately, their second stint didn't work out too well. Carl Anderson ended up being on the shelf with an injury for the majority of the time. Again, I feel like if which I believe because there were other people in other departments that also got their contracts released from WWE on like the graphic design
Mhm.
aspect department and things, and they were told it was budget cuts. I honestly believe, looking at these names, it might be budget cuts, except for Giovanni Vinci.
Yeah. Well, and I think the thing is too, though, is that I also heard that this is kind of twofold. The first part is the whole, oh, well, supposedly they cut these people to like make room for like more call ups. And I'm like, hold up. So you bring up Blair Davenport, have no creative plans for her when you called her up, to then release her to call other people up that you could possibly do the same thing to. Like, it. It just doesn't really. I don't know. It's just, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But what does make sense, though, is of course, when all of this shit happened, of course, everybody's screaming at Triple H and whatever. And someone, I wish I would have bookmarked this tweet because they were essentially just like, guys, this is Nick Khan, who is a no nonsense kind of guy who clearly is looking at money and money alone. And I feel like sometimes what he says probably goes. Triple H could probably say all he wants to keep people. But if Nick Khan is hearing from the big guys up in the tower that we need to like make more money in the next quarter, so we have to like shave off some
Right.
salaries,
Hmm.
then it's going to happen. You're not going to argue with your boss. You could try,
Right.
it's not going to work very well. So it's not Triple H, it's Nick Khan. He's the one that has to make the TKO people happy, and
Right.
TKO does not give a shit about goodwill or whatever. They care about money.
This is a corporation, and not only a corporation, it's a $1 billion corporation. I've
Yeah.
never heard a $1 billion corporation making $1 billion on good nature, goodwill.
Yeah.
You got you to make $1 billion, you got to step on some necks. You got to hurt
Yeah.
some people's feelings.
Yeah.
Again, I don't like seeing anybody get fired. Even Giovanni Vinci, I didn't want to
Yes.
see him get
Yeah.
fired. But again, this is a business. It's like
Yeah.
it's that thing where if you're a person that, a butcher or something like that, where you're working with animals, don't give the animals a name. Don't give them any sort of attachment, because
Nope.
when you gotta get rid of them, you're gonna have a really hard time getting rid of them. So
Yeah.
like, you got to look at it at that aspect. It's a business.
Hmm.
It's a business. I think, who was it that said it? I think it was Indy Hartwell. Indy Hartwell said a lot of people look at the 90-day no compete clause as like a prison, like
Yeah.
shackles are on you where you can't do anything for 90 days.
Yeah.
She's like, I looked at it as kind of like a blessing where I didn't have to instantly plant my feet and go, what the hell am I going to do now to make money? I
Yeah.
had 90 days to kind of breathe, relax, and get myself reset. And you see that with a lot of people like Nixon Newell,
Yeah.
who this is the most I paid attention to her outside of WWE, because now she's streaming on Twitch, and
Yeah.
she's super entertaining,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
hella funny, and this is stuff that they can use to go on to further their careers. So again, the 90-day no compete thing may seem like a shackle, but for some it doesn't seem that way. And again, it's the WWE. You can never say we're not going to see Isla Dawn again. We're
Yeah.
probably going to see Cedric Alexander again. A lot of these people will probably see again, because in WWE, what's the motto? Never say never, right?
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
eventually we might see these people come back around.
Yeah. So, and we'll just have to wait and see. All right. So we actually already answered this question, but we'll go through it real quickly again. So AEW's finally done the right thing and obviously let Malachi, Ricky, and Miro go. And
Mhm.
would we bring in all three? If not all, then who? We pretty much were in agreement. I mean, clearly Ricky's already there,
Rick,
as we said.
Ricky's there. Ricky been waiting ever since he got the call. He pulled up to like the performance center and was
He was
like, "All
waiting
right, I'm
outside.
here.
Yeah, he was
I'm
waiting
here.
outside.
I'm
Um,
here. Where do I clock in? Where's the time card punch?"
Yeah,
You know?
literally. So him clearly for sure. Malachi is almost a guarantee. Miro, I wouldn't be upset if they didn't because like I think you and I were both in agreement. So I never really got into him ever, so it was just like,
but
eh,
but then again, like, we could probably, the one saving grace is we'll see Rusev under the guidance of Triple H, who could probably tap into that foreign monster heel and really tap into something good. Again, from my standpoint, 2 out of the 3 is a definite. We're getting Malachi Black. We already got Ricky Starks.
yeah,
If we get Rusev back, it's just for shits and gigs. It's just
yeah,
to be like, it's the same thing when they made Ethan Page the world champion in 40
yeah.
days
It was to
after
flip
he
them off.
got
It
to,
was flipping them
yeah,
off.
yeah, it was just like, ha, we could do this and it's successful because we know what the fuck we're doing.
Yeah,
Oh my God. This is what people wanted. People wanted competition, right?
yeah.
This is the competition part.
Mm-hmm.
Right here,
Yep.
right here. This is the competition part that everybody wanted. Everybody thought the competition was like, oh, let's be the best program. Nah, 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 nah. It's let's have the best roster. Let's have the best team. And then let's use our roster to put on the best program. But for us to do that, we have to have the best roster. So you
Yeah,
don't know how to use Ricky Starks? We're going to show you how to use Ricky Starks. You don't know how to use Malachi? We're going to show you we knew how to use Malachi.
all
Ba, ba,
along.
ba. And it's gonna be a fucking mauling. Come
Yeah,
on, Tony Khan, fight back, brother.
It's
Fight
just, all
back.
right, get up. He's a stop it. He's already dead. Like,
I honestly, this would be the moment that if I was working for Tony Khan, I would grab him by the collar and like shake him and be like, "Wake up, brother! They are whooping our ass!"
yeah,
Like, you
yeah,
know, downsize your live attendance so that you can actually be in the green and you're not losing money on
mm-hmm,
these. Focus on the production. Take all the extra money you save from not booking these 10, 12,000 seat arenas. Focus on the production and marketing. Your marketing is a problem.
yeah,
This I have I rated out to a streamer last night after Raw, and the whole time we're like, wait, when the fuck does Grand Slam start? And then
yeah.
I was like, and then it dawned on me that Vengeance Day was the same day, and we both just went, oop, uh-oh.
Well,
Like, it's just, oh my god, we're losing focus here.
it's just it. Well, it is funny because Mike actually had a couple questions down, so I'm just gonna make the executive decision and throw this in with the one we just talked about. With obviously those three getting released from AEW, if we could free three others, who would they be?
I would say, and I know he's not gonna like this because he can't stand this guy.
Oh God.
Danny Garcia.
Yeah. Yeah.
Danny Garcia would be one. I'd free Danny Garcia.
Hmm.
Uh Probably, I mean, but see, like it's too easy to go Osprey, so I'm gonna keep him off the board. I would
Yeah,
go
I'm not gonna go like, or I wouldn't go like fantasy. Who would you we free? It would be ones where it's like you look at the roster right now and go, okay, this person just needs to get out of there because it's not like good for
so
them.
if we're going that aspect, I'm going if we're going get them out of there because it's not going good,
Yeah,
I'm looking at Brian Keith.
yeah, yes,
Um
yeah,
I mean, it's going pretty good for Kyle Fletcher, so I feel like
yeah, with
Kyle
him.
Fletcher
Yeah,
would be like a selfish choice. Same thing with like Osprey.
he's
So
fine.
like Danny Garcia, they're not he's the TNT champion.
Yeah, yeah,
A-
like,
And I don't know if you would even realize that. And same thing with Okada. So Okada might be another one. Okada might be
uh,
another one. I mean, he's got the thing with
maybe.
Matthews, which is pretty good, but like I feel like funny Okada calling everybody his bitch has run its course.
It's gotten really old. It's not even
For
funny
me,
anymore.
it has. It was funny at first, but like
Yeah, not so much
now I'm
now.
like if you go remember this guy in New Japan, people would be like, huh? Like
Yeah, they'd
like
be like, "Is this even the same guy?" Like,
yeah, like yeah, exactly.
um. Well, for me, obviously number one's Brit. Like they just need to get her out of there because clearly we're not going to be seeing her anytime soon.
What a story that is, huh?
Don't even, don't even get me fucking started because I don't want to make a scene. Well, let's bring up one that still like doesn't even like think. I don't even think they know if he's still employed or not. Wardlow, get him out of there because clearly
Wardlow. Every time Wardlow's name comes up, I'm like, holy shit, he exists. Like,
yeah,
what
literally, I'm just
happened to
like,
that guy?
oh yeah, he does get it. He does work there. It's sad that we're both just like, huh? Yeah, I guess he does work there, doesn't he? So do Britt, Wardlow, and I'm just looking through the roster page here. Oh, Keith Lee.
Keith Lee is a liability. If I was running the show, I'm looking at his health issues. I'm looking at his age. I love Keith
Yeah,
Lee. I think he's phenomenal, but like I'm looking at like insurance liability right there. The man,
yeah,
I don't know what's going on, but those are solid choices because again, it's like you said, it's not who we fantasy wise. I'm taking guys like Kyle Fletcher. Give me
yeah.
that.
Stat.
Give me Stat. Give me Swerve. I'm taking all the good ones.
Yeah,
But for people that might be in a position where they need to get out of there, Britt obviously is one of them. I wonder I wonder if with Brit, if we're gonna see a different Brit if she was to jump ship, and
maybe.
not in a character sense, but in the sense that, like, if she goes to either main roster or NXT, she's gonna flourish, but she's gonna go in there. She's going in there big pond full of big fish and sharks. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yeah.
It's different. It's different because in AEW she was a big fish in a small pond.
Yeah, she's
Now,
first woman signed.
yeah, now if she was to jump ship to WWE, if they stick her on NXT, she's a medium-sized fish in a big pond with
Yeah.
a lot of sharks, so
Yes.
like she's gonna have to step up her game, which I know she's capable of. I felt like after her injury and when she came back, she looked incredible. Like she was
Yeah.
ripped to shreds,
Yeah.
and she had that little hitch in her step that was missing, because that was the one thing that I was critical about Britt Baker before the injury, and it was because of the injury.
Yeah.
She kind of looked like she was moving with cement shoes on,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
I was kind of like, where's that snap? Where's that oomph? And it was because she had a debilitating back injury that would have took out any normal person.
Yeah.
So like now, again, we're back into a state. Now it's not an injury. Now it's personal issues. So now if she can jump ship and go somewhere else and work with a renewed sense of passion, does
Yeah.
that change her whole makeup as a professional wrestler?
I feel like it could. Sometimes you just need a new change of scenery. Sometimes you
Change of
just,
scenery, yeah.
I mean, hell, look at Punk. Look how the
Yeah.
Wonders is doing for him. So, I mean, and
the
if it could
man
happen for him, it could happen to anybody. Like,
the man no longer has those dark circles under his eyes, and he has like that old man hairdo going.
I know. I'm just like, what the hell's going on over there?
I
Like,
tell you, it's all sunshine and rainbows over there.
I guess. Like, it could be. But yeah, those would definitely be the ones that I'm like, please be free. Please free them. Like, I'm begging you, please free them. But that remains to be seen if that will happen anytime soon. I highly doubt it will, but stranger things have happened.
For sure.
Alrighty, so let me go back to the question I kind of skipped. Logan Paul is a far more dislikable Kurt Angle with how he's taken to pro wrestling. Would we agree? And could he be the best non-wrestler to ever become a wrestler?
No.
No.
The best non-wrestler to become a wrestler is Bad Bunny.
Yeah, I mean, for the celebrity, yeah, like
Celebrity, because to me, like Logan Paul's still in that celebrity status.
influencer.
Yeah, he's still in that because like I need to see him. How many times have we seen him work a Raw or a SmackDown? I think this was
Yeah,
like the first time we've seen him ever work a Raw, and
yeah,
he's in the main event. So I need to see more of that. Or to me, he's just going to be a part timer celebrity guy. I
yeah,
will. Like the thing about Logan Paul is this. To me, in the beginning, when he first jumped on the scene, I was like, yeah, this will work. This will be great.
yeah,
Further down the line, you see kind of like he can't get rid of his scumbag tendencies.
no,
So you're like, to me, in my eyes, yes, he's great, but we got 5 other guys that are equally as good as, or better than him that can, if he's gone and he doesn't have his spot anymore, we're okay. And
yeah.
then
It's
he,
not like, oh my god, we lose him, we lose the company. It's like, no, if he
right,
leaves,
right.
we'd just be like, okay, who
Okay, but
cares?
but then he breaks out that dang on finisher last night, and
Yeah,
I'm like, shit, this
that
guy
was impressive. I'll admit.
this guy is good. Let me tell you, nobody should be kicking out of that finisher.
No,
That should be the new end of days where nobody kick, because it's just too goddamn good.
yeah,
It's just too good. How does he do this? Who
yeah,
is
really,
teaching him these things? Who is teaching him the dark arts of professional wrestling?
really,
Because
like,
somebody is in there teaching him springboard Oriar moonsaults, buckshot lariats, and now he's hitting I don't even know what to call this thing, like a pump handle. It's not even a pump handle. It's just a
yeah,
freak move. It's a freak move. He's a freak athlete. I wish he was a better person.
yeah, yeah. It's just, he's just,
I
ugh.
wish he was a better person. It's just like, again, it's those things like, if he's gone, if he leaves and he decides not to do this anymore, it's no big deal because they got 5 to 10 other people, men and women, that can do it equally as good, if not better than he can. But he's just so naturally gifted at this thing. If he really wanted to, I mean, the thing is, his influencer stuff probably is making him way more money than what WWE could offer him. which
Yeah.
is probably why he really doesn't go all gun-ho with this stuff, because if he did, he would be Hall of Fame caliber in like 10 years.
Yeah.
Like, but again, the Prime stuff, all the other
Yeah.
stuff, he's gonna have a reality show coming out soon.
Of course
He's
he
like
is.
this is like an extracurricular activity for him with the WWE.
Yeah,
So
literally, like, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Anyway, it's
yeah.
just
You hate to compliment the guy. I know.
yeah, it's like it's just,
I know. I get it. I get it. I feel the same way.
it's again, you always have that like, God damn it, why do you have to be good at this? Like, fuck. Anyways, when is WWE gonna pull the trigger and just blow up the Judgment Day? I don't know why they're dragging this shit out. I thought like 2 months ago they should have blew them up and they didn't. So I don't know really
I
what we're
think
waiting for, but
I think they're worried about what's going to happen with JD and Carlito.
yeah,
I mean,
I
it's
guess.
interesting. They could have just dropped Carlito, but I mean,
I mean, it's like he has the comic relief, but it's not
yeah.
like the comic. It's like they don't need the comic relief anymore. It's kind of over, but
They need to get more serious. They need to get serious, and they need to stop being the group that everybody gets the victories over.
yeah,
But again,
exactly.
like if they're not feuding against the LWO or anything, like who do they got?
Yeah, they got nobody. Like Finn's too worried about the elimination chamber right now, so it's just like,
Yeah, let them go their own separate ways,
yeah.
and
Like
kind of
Judgment Day's been dead since SummerSlam. Like, let's be real
yeah.
here. Like, come on. It's
Yeah. You could clearly see Damien and Rhea were the cool parts of the Judgment Day.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like it's just so funny how night and day it is when you take two singular people out
Mm-hmm.
of a faction like that and it completely just falls apart.
Yeah.
It just goes to show you the cool kids were were Rhea and Damien. Absolutely. Oh god. All right, so now we're gonna get triggered here. So Mike knows that Jericho has the most go away heat amongst the two of
Ooh.
us, clearly. But
Yeah.
who is the number two for us? He's torn between MJF, the Death Riders, and AJ Francis. Ugh, those are some
Ooh.
names.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just flat out say Logan Paul. Like, I don't want to see his face ever. I don't care that he's a good wrestler. It's like he is. I can admit he's a good wrestler. I just don't give a shit if he's there or not.
Yeah.
Like we literally just said, if he would disappear for a year and a half at a time, I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. I didn't even, wasn't even worried you were gone. Like, I forgot you worked here. I don't care about him at all. It's just,
Yeah.
ugh.
Um, for me, Logan Paul's probably kind of easy. I mean, it sucks to say, but this current phase of MJF,
Yeah.
I'm just like, ugh.
It's just so like
Like,
uninspired. I mean,
yeah,
here's the worst part though. Let's be real. We've talked about it before, so this isn't like a hot take between you and I. His promos and shit were always uninspired anyway. Like,
it's the same shit. Like, it's
you're
so
poor, low hanging fruit. This
Yeah,
town
you're
sucks. You're
fat.
all ugly. Like, it's just like, I'm glad you
Yeah,
opened up How to Be a Heel 101 and read the first page on cutting a promo. Like, okay,
got him.
like that's literally all it is. And clearly,
Jesus Christ, Shay, why don't you just empty the clip on the guy?
hey, I mean, I had another round, so I might as well just use it.
Yeah,
But it is,
MJF.
it's just like you literally just have the greatest hits of how to cut a generic heel promo.
Yeah,
Insult the city's sports teams, insult the people of the city, insult they're poor, they're fat, they're ugly, they're stupid. It's just like do something else, like anything. We're begging you, and clearly that's not gonna happen. But
not gonna happen. Not gonna
no.
happen. Yeah, but I think Logan Paul, WWE, and MJF. It's just kind of like when I see MJF, it's just like, here we go. It's the same
Yeah.
shit. Like
Roll the
it's
eyes.
just, it's literally like reheating the TV dinner every
Oh.
day. It's just the
Ugh.
same shit. The same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're gonna eat it because you need the sustenance, and
Yeah, you don't want to die.
you know, it's gonna be a heel promo, and he's gonna do, but it's just the same shit
Every day.
over and over again. And then you wonder why he's stuck in these positions where he's working Jeff Jarrett and Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah, because nobody cares anymore.
No, nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Like, how is somebody like him fallen from grace in the blink of an eye?
It's not. It's. I honestly don't think it's him.
You know,
I
well, I
just
mean,
think it's.
but to be fair, it's like you said, it's kind of the same shit. It's just like I feel like maybe I think the whole Adam and him feud kind of just,
What I honestly think it's the way he's been booked. I think
yeah,
it's just they tell him to do this, and he might not have a fight left in him to say, "Hey, I don't want to do
yeah.
this."
He's just like, you know what? Sure, cut me the check. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
So honestly, I
ugh.
think part of it is like apathetic to where you're like you just said, cut me the check. But part of it is the shit that they're giving me shit on a plate. You
Yeah,
know, like and
yeah,
like so I honestly think that's a factor too that we don't take into consideration. It's just that what he's been given is absolutely like if I'm MJF, I'm the longest reigning AEW world champion in history, and you got me working Dustin Rhodes one week and then
yeah.
Jeff Jarrett, like come on,
Hmm.
bro.
Yeah, it just it doesn't end. It's just
Yeah,
stupid shit after stupid shit.
you ain't lying.
It makes your head hurt. It really does make your head hurt. All right, so Mike's final question is he is currently battling a cold where every time he coughs, he feels it in his back by his lungs, which
Ooh,
I've unfortunately been there before, so I get it. I hope you feel better. I hope you're feeling better. He said he thinks he could use some of that kinesiology tape. So the question is, where would we could we currently use kinesiology tape on any part of our body as we
golly.
are right now?
Why does he have to always bring up the fact that I'm old?
Like, I mean, it was a decent question because I have an
No,
answer.
it's a great
I have an
question.
answer.
I'm gonna go with your shoulder. I'm gonna go with your shoulder.
No, actually, I've been cleared from that for a few months. It's
Oh wow.
yeah, it's fine.
This is old
So
people talk right now.
yeah, this is no, this one is no, what happened to me is very relatable and everyone's going to understand it because it all happened to them in one point or another. I was standing at my dresser. I was getting something off it, I think, or I don't really remember. And I went to like turn towards my bed. And the way my bedroom's set up is that I have like a little bit of like a narrow path between my dresser and my bed, but I don't have like it's not big, but it's not like it's a small bedroom. What can I say?
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
it's got a couple like we'll just say like 10, like 5, 6, 7 feet between the dresser and the bed. And so I went to turn from the dresser to my bed for something else, and my pinky toe caught the bed frame.
Oh Jesus, fuck.
And I just remember I didn't even say anything. I didn't do anything. I just like in one motion hit my foot and then just fell on the bed. And then just
No,
like
no, no,
laid there
no,
cuz I'm like
no, no, no,
see, I
no.
fully thought I like scraped it, so I thought I was looking down waiting for it to bleed. I was like waiting for it to
Oh,
bleed. So I'm like
Jesus.
okay, well, it hurts, but it's not bleeding. So I'm like, so I didn't cut it on anything, so that's great. And so I'm like, okay, whatever. And then the next morning, it started to bruise, and I'm like, well,
Oh,
that's understandable. And then I had to put my shoes on to go somewhere, and I'm like, oh no, this is
oh,
a problem because I was fully for I think 3, 4, 5 days, I was limping on my foot. So I'm like, I just fucking broke my toe. I've never broken a bone in my entire life, and this is the first fucking bone I break is my fucking pinky toe. So I like get a hold of my PCP. I'm like, Doc, this is what happened. What should we do? And she's like, yeah, we'll get you an x-ray. We'll check it out. And so I
oh,
go last Tuesday and get my x-ray. Not even 45 minutes after I get home from the x-ray, they're like, oh yeah, it looks good. You're fine.
oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say it broke or you hit it again or something.
No, but it's like I still like it still hurt and it was still like hurts. It still kind of hurts a little bit to put pressure on, but it's not like terrible. But I have a feeling I probably like bruised the bone because that's the only other
We're
thing I
gonna.
can think of doing. So if we could just cut
Ooh.
cut little tiny strips of kinesiology tape just to put it on my foot, that would be fucking fantastic. But that's my monthly injury. So I fixed the
now
shoulder and I screwed up the toe. Like,
we were talking about this the other day on the stream. We were like, what does the kinesiology tape? Is it like a substance on the adhesive end
it
of it?
all right, let me look
You
at one.
know, because this is your expertise, I would assume.
Believe it or not, I've only ever had kinesiology tape like maybe a handful of times.
But I
And
figured with like your sports medicine, the kind of like sports therapy background ish.
well, I mean, I was never in this. I was in the sport management, not
Oh, sport
yeah.
management. Okay, I
But
was thinking it's like sport.
I mean, I've been around enough sports to know. So
Yeah, yeah, you're pretty much, you know the athletic part of it when in terms of I never understood how it worked. Is it like icy hot on the adhesive on it or something?
no, it's like a tape, but it's like flexible. So it's supposed to like help with like the muscle movement, and it's like
Okay.
you can use it to like relieve pain, reduce swelling and inflammation, like provide like like some type of support to the joints and everything. So
Gotcha.
it's kind of like
Gotcha.
it's almost like a splint, but it moves, I guess.
Gotcha. Yeah, I need something like that on my lower back.
Oh yes. Oh
Yeah,
yes.
my lower back. I got like I'm starting to develop old man lower back
Oh
where I
no. No,
like
no, no.
cuz like my yeah, my mattress is a pretty firm mattress,
Ah, yes.
and
So is
it
mine.
was yeah, it was given to me so I really didn't have a choice of like whether I wanted extra plush or anything like that. It
Yeah.
was just kind of what was so it's like I wake up in the morning and like the middle of my back and my lower back is like, "Oh,
Ugh. No.
that's new. That's new."
Mm-mm.
And again, I keep saying it because I want to cry, but I just celebrated a birthday. So
Yeah.
as those years keep ticking off, I'm like, "Oh, they say this is supposed to happen. I don't like this."
You're like, it
Like,
wasn't supposed to happen to me. It was supposed to happen to
yeah.
everybody else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. But that those wrestlers that rock the Kinesio tape, they kind of look like Christmas packages the
Yeah,
way
different.
they're like taped up.
Yeah, it's all the fun colors. I'm like, where the hell was that when I was playing softball? I could have used that because I can't tell, dude. I couldn't tell you the amount of sprains, strains. Like I probably sprained and or strained my both my ankles and both my knees and my quads multiple times. So I'm like,
Ugh.
where was the kinesiology tape when I needed it back in the day? Like,
Yeesh.
it would have helped so much better than ice and just a
Yeah.
heating pad. But oh well, it is what it
It
is.
is that.
All right, so that was Mike's last question, so we are all done.
All right. Well, this was a lot of fun. This was, I mean, they're always all fun,
Yeah.
but tonight's episode was definitely a lot of fun. I felt like we were able to talk about more of the behind the scenes things and like more of like the business side of professional wrestling, which is
Mhm.
always fun to kind of analyze and talk about again from the perspective as a fan,
Yes.
not as an expert.
No
We're not
experts.
out here, yeah, we're not out here trying to be Dave Meltzer and
Oh
Brian
god.
Alvarez or
No, thank
anything
you.
like that. We're just trying to be Shay and Erik, and that's why we've been doing this for so long, and we have a good time doing it. If this is your first time listening to the Ringside Rundown podcast and you've made it this far, thank you so much for listening. We really, really appreciate it. For those that don't know, wherever you're listening, this podcast is available on whatever platform you use. So if you're listening into it on one platform, but you're like, hey, I use Spotify, it's on Spotify, it's on Apple, it's on iHeartRadio, it's on Good Pods, it's on Amazon Music as well. It's everywhere. All you got
Yeah.
to do is just look it up, whatever platform you use, the Ringside Rundown. If you can't find it, you could head over to our Instagram, our Twitter, or our Facebook at Ringside Rundown. Send us a DM saying what platform you use. We will get you back a link on that platform on a silver platter. But the caveat is you have to give us back the silver platter
Yes.
because it belongs to Shay's mom, and she is crazy. She will hit you with the sickest power bomb you
Yeah.
have ever seen in your entire life. I've seen it happen, not to Shay, thankfully,
Yeah,
but
no.
but the lady is crazy. She will come at you like a kamikaze pilot. She is not afraid. You want to talk about cero miedo? That's Shay's
Yeah.
mom right
Yeah, pretty
there.
much. I can agree with that. I can't argue with that one.
So make sure you give us back the silver platter when you get the link to your platform of choice. Like I said, you can find us Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Ringside Rundown, where we update you constantly on what we're doing with the podcast. And like I said, I also do live streaming on both Twitch and YouTube for every wrestling program. I'm talking Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, Collision, the PLEs, whatever have it. Watch alongs are happening both at the same time on Twitch, twitch.tv/ringside rundown, and on YouTube, youtube.com/at ringside run pod. So if you want to join in on the fun, be a part of the conversation while we watch some wrestling, I implore you to check out those sites once again, twitch.tv/ringside rundown, youtube.com/at ringside run pod. Shay, where can they get in touch with you?
You can find me on Twitter at Shaylin Hickson21, talking about all the things. Just all the
All the
things.
things,
All the
all the
things.
things, whether it's sports, pop culture, whatever you have it, Shay's got it for you. Go ahead and give her a follow. She's a great follow.
Thank you. Same with you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, I believe we'll be back next week, next Tuesday. Nothing in Vengeance Day and Grand Slam Australia for AEW are happening on the same day. So we're definitely going to talk about that, but we'll be back with another episode on Wednesday for you guys. So make sure on Tuesday you send us in your questions for us to answer here on the Ringside Rundown podcast. For Shay Hickson, my name is Erik Vasquez. Thank you. We'll see you again next time, guys.
See you later, guys.